Hey guys, we're gonna fight through the roosters and see if you can actually see us doing some blackberry work today. Dean Family Acres. Really? I think they must be laying. Anyway. Alright guys, so thanks so much for joining us as we are going to be working on expanding our blackberry row. And as you know, many of you know, if you follow us on Instagram or on Facebook, we have been, we did a group buy for blackberries and we ended up with some extras. We also ordered some for ourselves. So we're going to plant all of the PrimeArk Freedom that we got will be the rest of this row. And we're going to transition this row to be nothing but PrimeArks. Either Freedom on this end or Traveler on the other end, and then we're going to add another row at some point, which will be Ponca and Wichita. That's still how I'm pronouncing it, even if it's wrong. Thanks for following, guys. Alright guys, so as you can see here, we just had this fabric just laying on top of the ground. It was not really staked down, had a couple boards on it, that's it. And this is where we did our potatoes. If you hadn't seen that episode, definitely go check that out here. What we're going to do now is just we're going to rake out any of these weeds that are growing, and then we will come back and amend the soil just a little bit and plant our blackberries. We're also going to just adjust, you can see the level of the soil. We've got some divots, some dips, and want to make sure that we've got that pretty level. And or at a slight crown. Alright guys, so we're looking a little bit better. I got that tarp up and also raked everything out. I don't know about y'all, but in wintertime I just don't do enough exercise. So it'll wear you out doing these little things. But what better time to get started than now? Because before too much longer it will be hot and we'll need that endurance. And anyway, so we're gonna dive in here and see about laying that tarp back out, making sure that any grass that's grown into it, we get that pulled out, and we'll work, just work our way up, either laying the boards on it and or putting staples in just to hold it down, because we're only going to plant every 3 feet. We are going to leave the gap of at least one plant in between the Traveler and the Freedom, just so, number one, we have a way to walk into the garden and not have to go all the way around the ends. But also just to be able for us to remember what's where. So hopefully that will work out well. We're going to put some of our mushroom compost that we had left over from last year. It's been composting down even more all winter. We're going to use a little bit of that in each hole because we amended this soil pretty well for potatoes last year with perlite, vermiculite, compost, and I feel like there was at least one other thing, but we did that really, really well last year. So this soil is actually some of the better soil that we have in the garden bed. Squish them. All right, guys, you can see we got that tarp down. Now we're gonna have to pin it down and or put boards or rocks on it, and then we will make sure and get the grass that's growing into it. Just make sure we get that out because it'll start back up. Alright guys, so what we're doing is just laying the tarp out, and then we're getting the holes dug. I learned after the first hole, don't pull the dirt out, just kind of stuff it around the edges, and then we're going to amend with some mushroom compost. I will say, if you had your tarps already laid out and they already had holes burned into them, the one bad thing about this is that that's where a lot of your weeds are going to be growing. So you might want to take that in consideration if you're going to have your holes already pre-burned. We really couldn't adjust this because we already have blackberries on this end, so we couldn't pull the tarp up and flip it or shuffle it down or anything like that. And it shouldn't be as big of a problem the further up we go, because this tarp was kind of doubled up, and you could even tell that in regards to how the weeds were. Pretty certain this blackberry's got some good roots. Any of them like this, what I've been doing is kind of just digging to the side to be able to kind of spread those roots out, and then just layering over the top of them. On to the next one. Again, just splitting them out. All of these seem to have just massive roots. So at this point, I thought I'd planted my last PrimeArk Freedom, and then I looked back. I didn't leave a space down there to be able to walk through. So I'm gonna go bring that one at the end, bring it all the way up here, and that should leave us space, I think, for one or two more. So we'll just tip root a couple of those. So next year we'll fill in the rest. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hopefully each and every one of y'all have enjoyed this episode as we are planting our PrimeArk Freedom Blackberries. Stay tuned. We're really looking to expand our blackberry varieties that we have on hand, as well as how many we actually plant in the ground. So again, just thank y'all so much for your support, and don't forget to check us out at a minimum every Sunday, and any other times in between when we might can squeeze a video in. Usually those are Thursdays. Thanks so much, guys. Y'all have a blessed day. Don't forget, after you like with that thumbs up and you subscribe, don't forget to ring that bell like Mike Tyson did in the 1980s. Y'all have a blessed day. Did I mention that it's windy today? Yeah, it is.